Hello and welcome to the Critically Clueless. Today we are in Crusader Kings 3 and today's video is all about faith and why I think it's something that shouldn't necessarily be overlooked. Now, if you're interested in Crusader Kings content, then this is the channel for you. We are covering everything we can to do with this game for console. Console just recently got released, and so that's why we're covering and doing all these tricks and tips and kind of guide videos. If I haven't covered anything that you want to see on the channel, then comment down below and I'll do my very best to either answer you directly or make a whole video just for you. We also have an active and growing Discord, guys, so the link for that will be in the description if you want to come in and chat to one of us about a problem you have in a game or just a game in general. And of course, if you do happen to like this video, don't forget to hit that like button and of course subscribe to the channel. Now we've got all of that over and done with, let's talk about faith. Now, faith is a pretty cool thing. You get it through different things you do within the game, kind of generally. Sometimes you can simply ask the head of faith for some cash. I believe we have the option to do that. Do we? We don't currently, but normally if you do, it will be here in the hints. It normally costs you 250 faith, and then you can simply ask your head of faith for a bit of cash to kind of bail you out. Now, we are extremely rich right now. That may be why it's not here. We can definitely afford it, however. Let's go to our current head of faith and see what he's got to say for himself. Ask them. Yeah, see, we've already asked him for some money recently, so we can't do it again for another year, unfortunately, which is why it wasn't in the hints. Fair enough. Now, something else you can do when it comes to faith is actually create your own religion, which is what we're going to talk about today in this video. Now, creating your own religion isn't an easy thing. You're going to need a hell of a lot of pithy in order to get it done. As you can see, we're earning a fair bit, 5.6 every click, which isn't really bad. That's actually pretty good. We could be earning more, but this is what we're earning, and you can see a detailed list of why we're earning what we're earning as well. We actually have two of the virtues, compassionate and forgiving, which is earning us a decent amount. Keep that in mind, because what I found is that to create your own religion, you're going to need an awful lot of points towards religion. It can take you an awfully long time to achieve that, however. So it's probably best to kind of devote a life to, with the sole purpose of creating your religion. In this case, my purpose was actually to consecrate my bloodline, which we will talk about again later in the video. And so at the same time, I figured it would be a good idea to create my own religion, as well as the whole purpose of this life was to get as much pithy as possible. You can also go on pilgrimages. If you go on a pilgrimage, that will also aid you in getting, one, a lot of pithy, two, certain traits, which will help you and then get more as well. If we have a little look-see at our emperor, let's find the relevant trait. There we go. We are a pilgrim, so we got a 10% monthly bonus to our pity. And we also got the opinion modifier for faith as well. Opinion modifiers towards the clergy can be important depending on certain things you're trying to do. So, keep that in mind. Now, when it comes to actually, if we wanted to, where is it? There it is, to consecrate our bloodline, that does come with a number of rewards. But in order to do that, you actually have to obtain religious icon. If you have a look, we are oh so close to actually being able to do that. which is fabulous. It's definitely something that we want to do. And like I said, it does cost, it takes a very long time to get religious icon. It takes a long time. So make sure whichever character that you're kind of doing this on has a good head start. If you're starting as a sinner, for instance, that may take a long time, may be completely unreachable at all. But general rule of thumb, the more pithy you are earning a month, the quicker this bar is going to fill. And every single time you get pithy, the bar fills as well. So keep that in mind. Doing good deeds, which earns, it will give you a significant chunk towards your next title. I believe I recently went on a pilgrimage. It was a long pilgrimage. It cost a lot of gold. I think it was to Jerusalem, and it cost 1,000 gold, but I did get 750 pithy for doing it. So keep that in mind. There are things you can do that definitely help. And talking about things that will definitely help, the lifestyle tree. There is a lifestyle tree in learning. Yeah, here we go. We actually currently have a few of it. We haven't got it completely filled out. We actually had to shift over to whole body because we were aging and I didn't want to die, so I quickly had to put on a few modifiers for this. But this tree right here is definitely a tree you definitely want to look at. In fact, Prophet is a perk you 100% want to pick up if you are going to create your own religion, because creating your own faith costs 50% less if you have this perk. You also get 1 pithy extra per night you have, or sorry, 1% extra for per night you have. So possibly increasing the amount of nights you have also goes hand in hand in getting this number up as much as possible. Like I said, there are some incredibly powerful things you can do with faith. Personally, I like asking my heads of faith for money on a normal playthrough when I'm just playing as someone trying to conquer more land. Currently, possibly don't need much more land right now, which is why this is just something I wanted to tick off my bucket list within this current campaign, which is consecrating my bloodline and creating my own faith. So let's go into creation of my own faith. We'll go to create my own faith. And there we go. Now, to create your own faith, you do need a lot of pithy, like I said. You can name it and do a description and all that fancy jazz. You can even pick your tenets. And there's some really interesting tenets that you can pick as well. These are kind of things like the standard things that your followers will go by. As you can see, this one, for instance, gives us a monthly learning lifestyle experience of plus 20%, which is absolutely brilliant. Yes, it does cost, 1,000 towards our score, total cost of creation of religion, but it's just awesome. Again, this one here gives us children with learning education focus may gain wise man trait if they do well in their studies. Makes the following traits virtuous, which is wise man, mystic, miracle worker. And people with the following effects also get the Catholic opinion of plus 10, and we also get monthly pithy with that as well. Or you could just have something completely random like ritual cannibalism. Being a cannibal is no longer a crime. In fact, it is a virtue. Yes, that's right. Also, Catholic opinion is a plus 20, which is actually massive. Plus, you get a plus 2 per month in pithy as well. There's quite a lot of different things that you can actually get and change out, including divine marriage, which makes close family marriages perfectly okay. In fact, the vessels in your kingdom actually think it's an amazing thing. You get a plus 10% in opinion, as long, of course, as they are the same faith. If we go here, we can actually talk about the actual laws within your religion as well. You can change almost everything here. You've got the view on gender. You could make that equal sex if you wanted to. You could also have the head of faith Currently, it is spiritual, but you can change it to temporal, which we will again talk about when we talk about concentrating our bloodline. If you, as the head of your kingdom, want to be the head of faith, this is the way to go. This will also be passed down as if it's one of your regular titles from heir to heir. It's a really good one. Also, you can change the marriages. So if you're in a monogamous relationship, you can turn it into a poly or even have concubines as well. Meaning if you're one of those people that want a huge family and want to make it easier to have a huge family, that way you don't have to have lovers and bastards alike, then this is the way to go for you. You can also have it so divorces are always allowed, for instance, and you can even change a few of the things that have already been criminalized within the Catholic Church or your religion, actually make them completely okay. For instance, if you want a family of witches, we can have that to be completely acceptable. Or if you actually quite like being able to kill off your own children, let's say, for instance, you have too many heirs. Can't see why that would be a problem, but you can have that to be completely accepted as well. It's actually a great way to make sure that you're able to play the way you want to play, completely unhindered. Normally, you get pesky little traits that make you a criminal, that make it easier for your enemies to attack you, giving your vassals extra reasons to wanting independence and to overthrow you. This way, you can kind of do what you want when you want. As you can see right here, you can see we have a few interesting things. So we actually have 50 out of our 52 vessels that if we was to create this religion would actually convert with us, which is absolutely brilliant if you ask me. Normally it's only the close family that might convert. In this case, very, very lucky, 50 out of 52 vessels will convert. That's a huge chunk of my kingdom that's going to be converting with me. But it is something to keep an eye on, this little bit here, when you do go to create your own kingdom, that way or your own faith, that way you have an understanding of the people around you that may be under the same faith as you. As you can see, we have the combined cost of what it's going to cost us to create our own faith. We can actually afford this, which is brilliant for us. But as you can see, that number isn't small, which is why you kind of do have to dedicate your own kind of lifeline in order to do this. It's a huge task. But when it comes to Crusader Kings 3, that's kind of what we want. This is a game without necessarily having goals. Therefore, you have to create the goals for you. And that's why sometimes, every now and again, you need to have a life, take a step back, complete one of these tasks, and then for the next 8 generations that you have this already in play. Now, as I said, I was going to talk about consecrated bloodline. This again is something that's going to take quite a long time for you to sort out. As you can see, you need to be a religious icon in order to have this happen. You also have to control one or more holy site. Luckily, I already have that checked. And of course, the head of faith, whoever your head of faith is, has to like you quite a lot, which sometimes, depending on how you've lived your life, up to this point, may be harder said than done. I actually went through, I think, 3 popes in this lifestyle, so I managed to get all 3 of them end up liking me. But every time I managed to get one to like me, a new pope, well, the old pope would die and a new pope would come back, so I'd constantly have to get them to get that 75 opinion of me. As you can see, you actually gain Catholic favor increase by 25%. You'll get a different trait depending if you have a spiritual head or a temporal head. There is the paragon trait and the savior trait. You'll also get different renown. So right here, you can see I'll get 500 renown if I create this. That is because we currently have a spiritual head of faith. If we had a temporal head of faith, we'd actually get 1,000 renown, which is a huge buff, an absolute huge buff to our dynasty points. But yeah, guys, faith, definitely don't overlook it. You can do some awesome things. When it comes to creating faith, there are some absolute bonkers faith builds out there that can really allow you to play the game with ease and almost kind of cheat in the game in some senses. Personally, I think being able to have multiple wives is definitely a good thing because, you know, that's kind of what you want. You want a huge family. The bigger the family you have, the quicker you're going to be able to earn those dynasty points. So for me, creation of faith was something I definitely wanted to do. However, it was a huge task. Again, concentrating my bloodline again was something that was a huge task, and becoming a where is it? There it is. A religious icon is definitely no small feat. It takes a very long time. As you can see, I'm currently 78 and I still haven't quite achieved it. And as you probably know, getting to that age is incredibly difficult. You have to live a very good life, have a few dice rolls that go in your favor, and eventually you may get there. But guys, that is it for this video. I hope that you have learned something, found it entertaining. If I haven't quite covered everything, let me know down in the comments and I will do my very best to, like I said, either reply straight up to you or maybe even make a video about the thing that you've asked. And again, if you have enjoyed this video, found it entertaining or useful in any way, don't forget to hit that like button and of course subscribe to the channel. We have finally hit religious icon in this video. Wicked. I'm kind of glad that we just managed to do that, which means I can now do a couple of options. Like I said, if I was going to survive another couple of years, what I might do is do both. I might create a faith of my own, change it to a temporal head of state, meaning I'm the head of the religion, and then consecrate my bloodline, meaning I would get those 1,000 renown points. I think that's definitely a little bit better. Plus, the savior trait is better than the other one as well, in my opinion. But that's it from me, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. If you stuck around to the end of this video, a big thank you to you. And until next time, happy gaming, and I'll see you in the next video.